We actually had a really amazing picture of discipleship this week. I don't know if you realize it. You heard about it in the news for sure. It was from a woman named Rachael Denhollander. She was the woman that brought a serial rapist posing to be a doctor of the Olympic U.S. team to justice. And when she finally had the courage to stand up, 150 other women stood up and made the same claims that were true. And she had an opportunity to speak to Larry Nassar, the serial rapist, this week. These are her words. She says this: "If the Bible you carry," as she looks to Larry, says it is better for a stone to be thrown around your neck and you throw it into a lake than for you to make even one child stumble, you have damaged hundreds. Right? She has every right to be furious. She needs to be angry. The world needs to be angry. I need it. Larry Nassar needs her to be angry in this moment. She should demand for justice, and we should fight for justice on her behalf as well. Jesus is entirely against any injustice, any harassment, any assault, and we want no part of it. And so as she starts, I think she starts amazingly well. Not that she needs my approval, but this is a fight for justice, and I'm glad she stood up. And she goes on and she says this: "The Bible you speak of carries a final judgment where all God's wrath and eternal terror is poured out on men like you. Should you ever reach the point of truly facing what you have done, the guilt will be crushing." And Larry needs to feel that crushing guilt. Not as some penance, but as his only hope that a soul might be awoken to something greater. She speaks right words, eloquent words, theological words. She uses them swiftly and she uses them well. But then my heart pretty quickly turned to, what about Rachael? Like, forget Larry. What about Rachael? You see, if Rachael is a disciple of religion, there's nothing to heal her heart. If Rachael is believing that doctrine will save her soul, anger is going to eat her alive. Anger's good in the beginning. You need it. You need to fight for justice, but you can't harbor anger for years and decades. You'll become a shell of who you were. And so I was legitimately and deeply worried about Rachael and prayed for her. And yet I didn't need to be worried about her. Listen to what this woman says. And that is what makes the gospel of Christ so sweet, because it extends grace and hope and mercy where none should be found. And it will be there for you. I pray you experience the soul-crushing weight of guilt so you may someday experience true repentance and true forgiveness from God, which you need far more than forgiveness from me, though I extend that to you as well. What lets a woman who has gone through that stand in the presence of the man who did it to her and offer these words? Only the kindness of Jesus. Only that Jesus was not just a figure from 2,000 years ago, but the living God, and he is actively making Rachael whole. Not objectifying her as a woman to be used, but looking at her as a daughter and realizing that this daughter can be made more white, more whole, more pure, more clean, more intact than she's ever been. And as Rachael is in the presence of Jesus, being restored by Jesus, she's a follower of Jesus and a disciple of Jesus. Has nothing to do with religion at all, everything to do with redemption. That is the only way that you look at a man like Larry and you say, I extend my forgiveness to you as well. This is the only thing that we want at Vintage Church. We don't want disciples of religion. We don't want you to look like, talk like, or act like people in this church. We want you to sit in the presence of Jesus and be changed. And then let's go make disciples of the world.